around bridging the Ohio mattress deal. And where I started to get it wrong was around here. In this era, this 2006, 2007 era, if you were a bank or an investment bank and you were looking to get the mandate on an LBO, you weren't just expected to bridge the high yield markets. You were expected to provide what we were calling a stapled financing at the time. So if you wanted the M&A assignments, such as you could get the juicy M&A fees, you had to show up with the staple financing, which was you underwrote, spoke to, committed to all of the layers of the capital structure in a given deal. Senior debt all the way through the subordinated debt, fully underwritten either yourself or with a small consortium. What scared me at the time in the summer of 2007 is that particular trend took a worse turn, which was sponsors, general partners, private equity firms were going to the banks, investment banks, and saying, if you want this mandate, if you want this deal, not only do you have to give me a stapled financing around it so I have certainty of financing, you're going to need to bridge the equity in these transactions. You're going to need to put $200, $300, $500 million in equity side by side with me as a private equity firm in order to get this deal done. And what people forget in the First Boston situation is in that bridge loan that they made for that Ohio mattress deal, they had all these traps and triggers and acceleration rights that said if that bridge continued to be hung, they could go to the sponsor in Ohio mattress and claw back all kinds of rights and force liquidity. The way these equity bridges were working at the time in 2007 is the sponsors were saying you're going to take $400 million of this equity on your balance sheet. There will be no traps, no triggers, no acceleration rights. We'll tell you when you sell this equity off. We'll tell you to whom you sell it off, at what price you sell it off. And by the way, if you don't sell it off, you own it. You're my partner going forward in perpetuity on this particular deal. So what I kind of postulated at the time, again in 2007, was I thought that some bank would get hung with a giant equity bridge, similar to the way that First Boston got hung with the Ohio mattress bridge. But of course, the equity bridge is much worse. It's a true tier 3 asset. Takes primary capital against it and completely illiquid. So I was positing that one of these hung equity bridges would blow up one of these deals. And these banks were in a far worse position than First Boston was with Ohio mattress. So then, of course, what happens, what blows up this bubble is a complete meltdown in the senior secured debt markets. The highest, safest, securest part of the capital structure is the one that blew up, the one that historically was the easiest to underwrite and the easiest to sell on into the market. Had you asked me at the time for a trade I would have done, I would have said short the mezz, short the high yield, short anything unsecured, go long the senior. Fortunately, I'm not a trader, because had I suggested that, I would have lost yours, every penny of mine and yours. And the reason I tell this story is that in the summer